to the family room.
Hey everyone, it is good to be back here with you all on a Friday. We have been showing pre-recorded family rooms for the past couple of weeks because we took a break. In addition to on Wednesday nights, it's been pre-recorded.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's something that you can get used to every year. During the month of July, we're going to play some pre-recorded messages from the previous year or early years that you can enjoy. Some of the real strong ones that people had a great response to. And then we'll play a few of our recorded family rooms until we're ready to roll back into the live again. And today is our first time back on, I think in about 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yes, that's why I'm getting ready to go on and make sure we're all set.
So we got a lot happening. A lot is getting ready to happen. Let me say that. As you guys come in, can you hit us with the feed here, the chat? Let us know you're in the house. Tell us who you are, what's up. Give us a thumbs up, give us a fist bump, give us a little bit of something. And we know you're in the house. So we're excited about today because we're going to talk about, today is going to be a Flow With It Friday, but we got a lot of things that we can talk about before we get to that point, which also gives people time to chime in and get rolling. And then we'll go into our Flow With It.
Definitely. Make sure you share, invite somebody to be a part of the family room. Our First Lady, Alicia Ramsey, Pastor John F. Ramsey Sr. And the family room is our time where we're right here in our home and we're just sharing things with you. And on Flow With It Friday, you even help us lead the discussion.
Absolutely. So you guys, this is a day that you can ask questions, any subject, any topic. Not too much of anything is off limits. And we can be able to give you feedback. Remember that one of the reasons why we started the family room was because it was the only medium that we had available to us that gave us the ability to interact with you during COVID-19. Everything else was you watching the stream service on a Sunday or watching the stream on a Wednesday, but we had nothing for interaction. So that's really what Family Room was birthed out of. And we've come to really start liking these Flow With It Fridays because it gives us a chance to cover things you want to cover. And we'll also be sharing some things personal on our end as well.
Mm-hmm. So share, invite somebody to be a part of the conversation, and make sure that if you are not following New Life Worship Center on social media, if you're not following Pastor Ramsey on social media, make sure you do that because we always try our best to keep you updated on information and what's upcoming.
Absolutely. So again, give us a holler as you're coming in. We see the numbers are picking up. We're going to be ready to go. We're going to be good to go here in just a minute. So let us know when you're in the house and we're going to get started.
Yeah, Marvin's on the thread. Dee Dee's on the thread. I know she joins us at lunchtime. Great to see you.
Right. I see Marvin's always in the house. He and his wife are always in the house. We love it.
He and Jackie, yes.
We love it. They do a great job just being a part and keeping conversation going. A lot of things are getting ready to happen because when we come off of July, that's when the pedal goes to the floor and the ministry starts running again.
Right.
With Sunday morning services, as well as we'll still stream our midweek Bible study services. And then we'll have our family rooms on the Friday, but we'll get back into the Bible study. So when we come back into Bible study, we're going to start off on a very powerful series. I'm going to be doing 2 sessions of it. First Lady's going to be doing 2 sessions of it. And I really think it's going to bless your life. So we'll tell you more about that as we come around to Sunday in the upcoming weeks. We'll be ready to jump on in.
All right, good to see you, Nicole Sanders, Juanita Renee, Stacy Haynes, Charmaine Law. Great to see you, Shawnee Yvette. Great to see you, Tracy Clemens. So many people are back with us.
Yes.
Lagathia, it's great to see you as well today.
Well, and also thank you guys for watching the family room, even though it was pre-recorded.
Right.
And some of you saw those sessions when we first did it, and you came back to get more information, glean from it, to learn and to grow. So thank you so much for being a part of that and being connected. Also, thank you for those that are being faithful in Bible study. By watching Bible study every week, instead of saying, well, that's pre-recorded, it's probably something I heard or I know.
Right.
You love God so much, you love the word again, that you understand that faith doesn't come by having heard, but faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. So thank you for those of you that are locking it in every Wednesday evening to watch these throwback Wednesday or throwback services that we've been recording over the last 2, maybe 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's probably been the throwback Bible studies have been the whole month of July.
That's right.
Yeah, we did the whole month of July. And then we did the pre-recorded family rooms, probably about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe 3.
I think we did.
Yeah, maybe we did.
We
about
did.
3
We
weeks.
did 3 weeks.
Yeah, we did 3 weeks.
I went back and looked at them the other day
for the family room. And Joseph is saying, "Good afternoon, Pastor and First Lady. Happy 20th anniversary NLWC."
Awesome. Yeah, we're excited about that. And while we're on that, let's just talk about that for a minute. August the 8th is the church's anniversary. We will celebrate 20 years of existence. And I tell you, sometimes we feel like this church is 50 years old instead of 20 years old with some of the things that we've gone through. But what's been a blessing is that God brought us out of all of them victoriously. So 20 is going to be a great time of celebration. There's going to be one service on that day. We want to have one blowout service. We want everybody in the house. Listen, if you call yourself a member of New Life Worship Center, you have to be in the house on August the 8th. Our guest speaker is going to be Pastor Jonathan Briggs out of South Carolina, Charleston, South Carolina.
If they've never heard of Pastor Briggs, tell them a little bit about him.
Yeah, Pastor Briggs, he has an amazing ministry in South Carolina. We've known him for probably 12, 13 years or so. And he started his church in South Carolina and basically had nothing. He had nothing. He and his wife, we're going to have them as an interview that we'll do in the near future on Family Room, because we want to talk about their family structure and how they came together. Now, you know that a little bit better than I do. So why don't you give them a snapshot of that, and I'll hit the ministry part.
I don't really. I think
well, they're a blended family.
Yeah, but I can't even be.
Yeah.
I couldn't. I don't want to speak for them because it's a lot I don't remember.
Yeah, they'll probably share some of it, but they're a large blended family that has really done it in an incredible way. And they just stayed to it. They stuck to it with their ministry over the years, and they've watched God grow it. And now they're not only ministering at a powerful church and having a powerful church, but they also have businesses and entrepreneurship and so many different things they're involved in to bring in other streams of income into their family, which is something that we'll talk about sometime from time to time, because you can never go wrong creating more streams as long as you're maintaining some level of balance. So Dr. Briggs will be in the house. His wife will be with him, and we're going to have a great time of celebration. We love bringing in people that are not only good at what they do, but we have a relationship with them. And to us, that makes it all the more special. And we're really looking forward to this.
Yeah, Lady Sabrina, Dr. Briggs, just nice people, really sweet people. What you see over the pulpit, what you hear on the microphone is how they are in private and in person. And as Pastor said, he really takes to heart when he brings people to minister while we are away. And I know that you were truly blessed that your two friends were able to step in and support while we got a chance to rest for a little bit.
Why don't you tell them about those guys and tell them how they can go back
and
watch
that?
Here you
go again. No, they're your friends.
I thought they were your friends too.
So tell them a little bit about,
But anyway, YPJ Miller is a pastor out of South Bend, does a tremendous job. He's really big on social media. You guys have seen him quite a few times. He's come to the church. And then Pastor Jathan Austin, who is out of Michigan. He also pioneered a church out there that's doing really well. And you guys have seen him maybe a couple, 2 or 3 times that he's been here, 2 times, I believe, to minister. And both of them do a great job. So you can go back and you can watch those messages and get blessed from them. And then, of course, we were live and back in the house as of last Sunday, and we're ready to roll back into our routine again on this Sunday as we get ready to kick off this month of August, because it's going to be intense. And it's going to be a lot of good things going.
Yeah, and we've had them both on the family room as well. We've had Pastor Jathan and Pastor Beverly, his wife, on the family room. We've had Pastor YPJ on the family room. So it's just not something new. And we definitely make sure we bring individuals that we would want to listen to too, and that we would allow to minister to us as well. So I hope that you still tuned in on Sundays and you were able to receive a powerful word.
Absolutely. So that's just a little snippet of what's going to be happening here as we as things begin to come around. Also, we're going to have a live free concert on the 8th of August as well. It's going to be at 6 p.m. at our main location. So we have the one big service, and then we come back with the free concert that evening. And from our guests to our choir, to our worship team, to our musicians, they're going to set it off, and it's going to be amazing. So you don't want to miss that. I'm telling you, worship has got to be key to everything that you do as a child of God. And it's amazing. Can they hear us? Can they hear us? Okay, good. Thank you. But yeah, so we're very excited about that, and worship is should be a significant part of every Christian's life. You don't have to praise God the way everybody else does, but everybody should have a way of just releasing themselves into God's presence through the vehicle of praise, and that's what we're going to do on that Sunday night at 6 p.m.
Yeah, this is going to be an amazing day, the whole entire day. We are going to start out at 9 a.m. and we're going to do a family room live from the church on August the 8th. And Pastor's going to share some details. We're going to show you some photos about the start of the ministry, our 20-year journey. And then at 11 o'clock, the one powerful service with Dr. Briggs, NLWC, Music Ministry, and Pastor and I. Then at 6 p.m., it's going to be back down memory lane. And we're going to share with you some of, the worship moments that we've had at New Life. And we're going to bring in guests from all over the city that shared with us over the years. And they're going to perform live on that evening. Now, New Life is back to, you don't have to register to come to service. But we are still practicing social distancing, and we've been wearing our mask the entire time. We haven't stopped. We're going to continue to do that, and you have to keep your mask on. So make a note on your calendar that I want to be there. And if you don't live in the city or anywhere close, make sure you tune in.
And let's not use COVID as an excuse for not coming to church. Really, because you need to have pride in where you worship. You should want to be there. I watched the NBA finals. And when Milwaukee, whenever the games were in Milwaukee, they had 25, they said that their stadium seats 25,000. It was packed out, wall to wall, standing room only. And outside of the stadium was 25,000. So you had a gathering of 50,000 people. Nobody had masks on. They're standing shoulder to shoulder. They're screaming, they're hollering, they're shouting, they're spitting all over each other. And everybody came out fine. Yeah. So I don't want to hear no more excuses about, well, I'm afraid to go to church. You're afraid to go to church, but you're not afraid to go to work. You're not afraid to go to family reunion. You're not afraid to go to the mall, all those kinds of things. So it's really time for people to make God a priority. And I really think that if COVID didn't teach you anything, it should have taught you to make God the centerpiece of your life. And he has to be the number one priority. And anything you put above God becomes idolatry from the Bible standpoint. Anything you put above God becomes your God. So it's really important that we keep that priority.
Right. Because if you're here in Indianapolis, Indiana, I know you will be at the state fair. It opens this weekend. People will be there in the house, eating their corn, eating their rib tips,
fried Oreos, and
kids riding the ride,
donut cheeseburgers.
So you'll be doing all of that.
All the stuff that gives me heartburn.
All of that and then some. So I agree with Pastor that do your best to make it a part of getting church back into your routine, in-person church.
Exactly. And act like you want to be a part of your church because it's very important. So again, today, those of you that are chiming in, it is Flow With Us Friday. Yeah. On Flow With Us Friday, we talk about just an entire list of different subjects as they pop up. We're going to talk to you guys, tell you a little bit about our vacation, what we were able to do, and how that was a blessing to us, why it's important that all of us do that. That's something I've been horrible at the last 25 years or so. But when we went for that 10-day to 2-week period of time, that was life changer for me. That was a game changer. And I'm just looking forward to the next one at this point.
So talk about it.
Well, we were in Cape Coral. We drove. We did not fly. We drove with Jeremiah and Judah. And really, it took you 2 days to get there and 2 days to get back because we drove to Atlanta, stayed overnight. Then we drove the next day and made it into Cape Coral.
Tell them about Atlanta. Oh my gosh.
Atlanta, you know what? I love the city of Atlanta. They got some of the most incredible food you're going to find anywhere. They got amazing churches and pastors all over that city. Great leadership, great mayor. But I cannot stand the traffic. It is unbelievable. And
it rains, but the hotel. I was just thinking about the hotel.
Oh, the hotel.
Our family. Yeah. And then it ended up being a AAU basketball tournament. So there were like 500 basketball players around. Yeah. And the Wi-Fi was not.
Oh, the Wi-Fi was that Atlanta?
That was at Atlanta.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi was jacked.
And Judah and Jeremiah, they can't function without Wi-Fi.
Jay cannot verbally communicate everything he wants to say, but he was looking at me like, "What's up?"
And Judah was like, "Oh my gosh, this Wi-Fi is horrible."
So we're grabbing, using hotspots and everything we can to try to be able to hook them guys up a little bit. But it still was fun.
It was fun.
It's taxing to drive that far.
Yes.
And we split it up. First Lady does a great job driving, and we split that thing up, and we just go at it. And it just, for us, we wanted to give the kids those memories of taking a family trip somewhere.
Right.
Except back in our day, they had no air conditioning. 6 of you were in one car and all of that kind of thing. And it was real rough trying to make it all the way down there. But we want to give them memories, things that will last with them and things that they may do. But we also decided that next year is going to be a little bit different.
Yeah. The good thing about it, Jeremiah did amazing.
He did.
He had no accidents.
Yeah.
He used public restrooms. We have never been to Cape Coral before. It's outside of Fort Myers. It was perfect for us, perfect location, not too busy, not too much going on. Even though it rained, Judah just swam, and swam. She swam enough for the whole family.
She swam every day.
She swam in the morning, she swam in the evening. Yeah. We cooked because we got an Airbnb, so we cooked. And it was really nice for us. It was very calm.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say that?
I would, the place was amazing. They had everything you would want. Me, I was shocked when I saw that gas grill. I said, man, this is unbelievable. So they really had everything you wanted. So we went down to the grocery store and we thought we'd be eating out every evening. We ate out for lunch sometimes or ate leftovers and that type of thing. But we grilled every night while we were down there. And also had a new experience on learning how to drive a boat.
So tell them initially. So I had this idea because
she had the idea.
So when you rent the Airbnb, sometimes they send you this additional things you can get. And I was like, Jeremiah will probably like this concept. So instead of going, because I'm telling you, you can spend hundreds of dollars going to Disney World, going to Universal, eating there.
What does it cost? $200 for soda?
Oh my gosh. And the ticket like $100. So I was like, no, we're not going to do that this year. Let's try something different. So we rented a boat. And tell them about that.
She rented a boat.
Well, I rented the boat for him to.
But so you never said for me.
I knew I wasn't going to drive it.
I rented the boat.
I wasn't going to drive it. But I just thought, I thought it would be something new for you to try.
No,
that
I
you would enjoy it because you like cars. So I said, he may really enjoy it.
No, I love it. If we had a house down there, I would not have a house down there without having a boat. Because it was a great time. So what happens is the guy comes over that works for the company and the boat will be at your dock in back of your Airbnb. It'll be sitting right there. So when he comes to the house, rings the doorbell, tells you to meet him out back. He gets me on there and then he gives you a lesson on how to drive the boat.
It was like, hello, is this the Ramseys? I said, he said, your boat is here. Have you driven a boat before?
Yeah.
I was like, nope.
And you know me, so when he was talking to me on the boat, I was like, huh?
Could you hear his accent? Because it was really strong.
Yeah, it was real strong. I think he said it was Russian or something like that. I forget.
Yeah, he was.
But anyway, she took me out on the water, teaching me how to drive this boat. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, cool. I got to get all these instructions down because I want the family to have a good time. Jay is going to love this, so on and so forth. So when we get out to the part of the ocean where he switches up and gives the wheel to me, it started storming. And, we had this little thing over here, but the wind was blowing. So I was drenched in water. He was drenched in water. And there was this little window thing that you could close right here. And he closed it. I'm like, what's that doing? We were just soaked. But after about 10, 15 minutes, it stopped. And I learned how to do it. So each day that we went out, I was more and more comfortable. If we were to go down there tomorrow, we jump straight in that bad boy and go right on out. We go in the evening when it's starting to cool off. So you're not dealing with 100 degrees. Right.
So we did the canal the first few days because the house was right on the canal.
And the canal's big.
It was huge. Then the last day, you actually took us out to, go towards the ocean.
Yeah.
And Jeremiah loved it. He would just sit there with his life jacket on. Now, Judah, when I tell you the way she loves her daddy and trusts her daddy, this girl was on the front of the boat, laid out.
Like she's sunbathing.
Like she's sunbathing while he is driving.
And First Lady and Jay were in the back.
We in the back with our life vest on, chilling.
There was a picture. There was a picture I took of you and Jay. Check that out on my Instagram. You get a chance because somebody pointed that out. the background was incredible. Did you see that picture?
Oh yeah, the whole thing, yeah,
it was amazing.
It was an amazing time. So we tried different things. Now,
yeah, and that's something that we're going to continue to kind of navigate towards. Trying different things. Maybe we'll get some jet skis next time.
We've done that before.
Yeah, we have.
So we've done that. We've liked that. We took the kids out on a pirate ship adventure.
Yes.
Jeremiah loved that. They were very inclusive with him. And then we also, Pastor and I will do shrimp, a little bit of fish. Judah likes crab legs.
Yeah.
Like seriously likes crab. She will sit there and eat a pound by herself with nothing else.
Every day.
No sides. She just sits there and eats a pound of crab legs. Yeah. Well, we wanted to try something different, so we tried mussels.
Yeah.
Not bad.
The place, the way they cooked them, it wasn't bad.
Yeah,
I don't think I would be ordering that all the time, but it wasn't bad at all because I didn't think it would taste like that.
So we're getting back to creating memories. We started doing that, maybe about 7-8 years ago when we drove to Canada and the Hershey's. So we really tried to start creating memories with the kids on every level. So it doesn't have to be a lot of money. We've gone to Chicago for a couple of nights.
Right.
That was our trip. So we've done just a variety of things. One time we just took Johnny to visit a couple of colleges.
Yeah.
And we made that like a family trip.
Yeah, that was fun.
So we find different creative ways to make memories. It's always not about spending a lot of money. Like this was our first time doing an Airbnb in a boat. Like we've never done that, but we haven't been on a vacation like that ever.
I don't know when we've been on.
We used to do cruises years ago. So
we did cruises with the kids. Now the kids love the cruises.
Yeah, they did.
I think we went on 2 or 3 of them or something like that.
We've done several,
and they love them.
They love those. They were little, so now it's getting to the point. Judah saying, "I don't remember things," because she was very little. Like, so I'm seeing that. Okay, now it's time to start saving up, doing something special, unique when you can. But it's really important because we plan.
Yeah.
And you have a special account where you save for Christmas, you save for vacations, because so many people will travel on credit. We don't do that.
Yeah. I enjoy making sure that the family has what it needs. And in order to do that, like you said, we save for everything. And really, you don't have an excuse to not get at least a little bit of getaway time, even if it's 1 or 2 days, Chicago, somewhere close that costs you a lot of money. But saving for it to us is key. We do the same. I do the same for Christmas and really birthdays and everything else, so that whenever that occasion comes, you get to enjoy the occasion instead of thinking about how you're going to pay the money back.
Right. And so many people do that, and it's so stressful. And don't let other people pressure you into, like, if there's a family reunion and you don't want to spend the money, don't do it. Right. If your friends are going on a couples cruise and they trying to push you to do it, say, this is not the year we can do it, and it's okay. Exactly. I was super late last night. And so when I saw I couldn't get off to sleep early, I came in and started working on this new book. And I was writing about different things like that as it relates to families and just how to categorize your life and really be able to bring it together on one accord. And then also how to deal with differences and challenges. And that's what the book is really going to entail. So it's going to be a little while because it's probably take me another 3 or 4 months to get it written. And then it will go to the book company and it takes a little while from there. But I am excited about that. And I started pecking away. The last couple of days, I've been pecking away a little bit. That's good. And we discuss it. I just don't go out and plan a vacation without discussing it. Like we kept going back and forth. Hotel. One time I had a hotel booked. And I was like, nah, do we really want to stay in a hotel? This is too expensive. And then a lot of the Airbnbs went quick. So there were like none available. So then you saw some starting to open back up that were just newly finished. So we have to agree. Then we had to agree on the time. At first it was going to be 5 days and then 7. I was like, well, you did tell the church you're going to be away for 2 Sundays. What do you think? And he was like, well, what do you think? So we were just like, we'll leave Florida. So we left Florida on the 16th, but we stopped in other places. So we went to Tallahassee, stayed there overnight. So you could see, what did you get a chance to see? Florida State University, the home of Bobby Bowden. You guys that are old school football fans, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He coached Deion Sanders and all those guys. That stadium was better than a whole lot of NFL stadiums. It was unbelievable. So getting a chance to see that was cool. And we drove quite a distance just to be able to do that. And all of that's part of doing things new and being able to experience things. One of the things we talk about all the time that COVID should have taught all of us is how to live in the moment Yes.
enjoy the journey, and not take anything for granted.
Yes. Yes. And that is it. And, you know, we took our time. Usually in the past, we rush home.
Yeah.
And dive right in. Like what we used to do, we would leave on a Sunday night and come back on a Saturday.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't miss a Sunday, or we would leave on a Monday and come back on a Friday. Like we never would do what we've done this year. And one thing that I will remember from the conference, with the marriage conference that we hosted.
Yeah.
When Bishop Walker and Dr. Stephanie, when they said they planned their family calendar, then the church calendar.
And that's what we're going to start doing.
Yes.
Because it's just so important. And, you know, for me, to be honest, I can't wait for the next one. That's how excited I was about it.
And that's not,
everybody knows it's not me.
I know, but the thing is, you're telling them that you're evolving and changing, and people have to change.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also think that too, I don't think I'm old to any degree, but I do believe that as I get older, it's also going to be important for us to have those times of just getting refreshed, resting, sometimes not even doing anything. Being able to sit up there every day and know that you have no agenda, but what you want to do was incredible. And knowing that the staff, I got a good staff, that leadership, good leadership in place. Speakers were going to do what they do. I gave very little thought to it, where it used to be where we would be somewhere else. And if I happened to miss a Sunday by some miracle, I was sitting there thinking about, okay, I want to have this and this and this and this. And so, you know, it just lets you know that everybody has to grow. Pastors are not exempt from that. You have to grow and get to that place where you learn how to enjoy the journey.
Right. And there were times when we were away, the kids and I, and you would stay and work. But I can even say when you said, oh, you don't even want to do that no more.
No, that never happened again.
Yeah, because we've done that. Like, no, I'm going to keep the kids away a little longer. And, you know, I wouldn't have a problem with that. Me and the kids will hit it in a minute. But he was like, no, I want to be a part of that process too.
Yeah.
And you did things that we've never done before. Like for us to just sit down. I love, as you guys know, Marvel movies. He sat down with me and we watched Iron Man 2, 3, 4.
We watched about 4.
We watched a bit, like all the stuff that I like to watch. I said, well, come on and watch Captain America. Come on and watch this. Come on and watch that. And
I got to admit, all of them were good.
All of them were really good.
I enjoyed all of them. So now I'm a fan, and I'll sit down and watch any of those. I mean, they were just absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Welcome to the family room. It's great to see all of you again. Make sure you share, invite somebody to be a part of Flow With It Friday. We're having a great conversation, talking about just mental relaxation, you know, taking downtime away from the pace, and getting things in the memory books for your family.
Absolutely, absolutely. You mentioned something about mental a few seconds ago.
Just the mental break.
The mental break, yeah, and that made me think about Simone Biles, the great gymnast of the United States, and what's going on with that. I just wanted to say a couple of things about that. Man, I think what she's done is absolutely amazing. Is tens of thousands of people, probably even millions in that particular arena, refer to her as the GOAT before she even went into this Olympics. And so for her to kind of have enough self-awareness to know that, you know what, I'm not quite where I need to be at my best. And with that sport, if you're not at your best, you can get severely hurt with all the things that they do.
So true.
And I got much love, much respect for that. I think all of us need to learn how to identify when we're not in a healthy place emotionally, and then have a plan in place as to how to get there. But I got much love and respect for her, her family, her teammates. And when you see her over there cheering for the teammates, it's incredible. It is absolutely incredible. So God bless her.
Because it's okay to say I'm not okay.
Right.
It's okay to say I'm not okay. And I think that's the problem sometimes that I have with Christians. They want people to think that a person is weak or not strong enough or not spiritually attuned enough if they say they're not okay. And that's not true.
And that's a problem that I've had too. You know that over the years that, and for me, I don't think it was so much pride as the reason why I didn't want to say, okay, well, you know what, I'm struggling with this, I'm having a rough day, or whatever the case might be. I think I've just been so programmed to do what I do that I just don't always take time to think about that. You go through so many different things, you just get used to just pushing through. But there comes a time where you can't do that.
Yeah, and a lot of us do that.
And you have to start just looking at it and saying, look, if I'm going to go the distance in life and marriage and in my occupation, whatever, I got to start calling some of this stuff what it is and realize that I got a spouse that loves me enough that they're going to embrace me and help walk me through that. Because the reality, guys, is that we live in a very complex, complicated world. Nobody knows what Simone Biles is going through but her. And so, I think those things are important.
It's true. And then, it's just really sad to me because people forget how young these professional athletes are.
Yeah.
Like these basketball players are in their 20s, just getting in their 20s, The football players are in their 20s. It's like they see them as old when they're in their 30s.
Yeah.
So when they're making all these mistakes sometimes or having these difficult moments, or like Naomi Osaka, I just watched a documentary on her. Like they put so much pressure on them.
Incredible.
It's
pressure.
Unbelievable.
And that's the reason why, whether I was playing a sport or before I even started playing, and even now, since it's been years since I played anything, I have so much respect for athletes. I really enjoyed it because I know what the grind is like.
Mm-hmm.
I know what the sacrifice, I know what it's like to play hurt. I know what it's like to grind it out in the weight room after a practice, all those kinds of things, standing in a whirlpool that's full of ice so that you can get the swelling in your legs to decrease so you can run again in the next practice. Know what all those things are like. And so I really enjoy seeing athletes in all types of sports experience some level of success.
And this is at the professional level, not even the college level. I remember at the high school level, the mind games they would play with our son. And it would get to the point like he is a high school student. He's 14, he's 15, 16 years old. If they play those kind of mind games in high school, I can't imagine the next level of college or professional.
College is not ready.
That's the sad part about it. So people are so quick to judge it. Social media has got people this boldness behind a sticker. Sometimes people don't even put their real name out there, that they feel they can say anything.
Right.
And that is the sad part about it. So you have to think about this young lady is getting it from everywhere.
Yeah, she is. But I'm also glad that great people are in her life, and you can tell that they are. And she said something, don't quote me on this, but she said something along this lines that going through this experience has shown her that she is more than her performance.
Right.
And she said, and I have not always thought like that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was powerful.
That is really good. It's D. Davis says, our mental space is very important. If we're not in the right space, it makes it hard to function. Marvin says, they are human. And if we don't go through some kind of adversity, people just need to pray for her and anyone who's going through difficult times. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And Lauren says, program to just make it happen no matter what. It's not good long term.
She's absolutely right. She's absolutely right. And, the church has been amazing, with my mother passing and everything else. A lot of you guys have been around so long. Well, first of all of y'all know I'm emotional and passionate, but you all just allow me to do what I got to do to keep pressing through. But yet the love is there, the support is there, the encouragement is there, which is just amazing. So, everybody goes through different things. Everybody has to go through challenging times in their life. A lot of times, right after you identify God's purpose for your life, right after purpose comes crisis. And you have to navigate yourself through those things. So it's great to have a support system.
And don't you also believe that people have to admit it? Like, what if she just would have kept it all inside? And then when people have nervous breakdowns, or they, crash, or they turn to alcohol, or they turn to prescription drugs, or, marijuana, because they feel like, well, I have to deal with it. I have to take it. I can't say that I'm not okay.
Yeah, I think that's a tough one there. I think you have to break through. And again, there are some subjects that I can teach a little bit better than I can apply. And this is one of them, because I haven't always been quick to identify what's happening with me and then put it out there for her. And so that she knows, okay, he ain't just tripping. He's not in a good spot today, or whatever the case might be. I mean, it took a long time for that. My father passed, it took me a long time to be able to say the word. It really, really did. Now, I don't have a problem saying it at all. But I think that the way that a lot of people that judge other people going through things mess up is that they fail to understand that whoever that is going through something, they don't have to be on your timeline as to when they recover.
Right.
They're on their own timeline.
Right.
You know, you lose a mother, you lose a father, you lose a sister, a sibling, whatever the case might be, a spouse. Nobody else should be able to determine how long it's going to take for you to get to a place where you're healthy again and you start navigating and moving forward.
Right. And the sad part is there are a lot, especially Christians, and I'm just saying that because this is a Christian platform. There are a lot of Christians that don't practice empathy at all.
Yeah.
They don't take the time to put themselves in that individual's shoes or understand the type of environment that person was raised in or the expectations that are on that person. All of those things, you're just quick to judge them or quick to have a comment about what they do and how they do it.
Exactly. And I've said this for a lot of years, that most people judge others by their actions, but they judge themselves by their intentions.
Right.
And you need to be on the same scale as the scale that you judge everybody else from. Now, at the same time, there are some situations that are not necessarily judging, because Jesus said, you'll know the tree by its fruit. So if something's producing oranges, I can't call it something else. But at the end of the day, she's talking about compassion. And to me, compassion is a sign of Christian growth and maturity. And I say that for a lot of reasons. Even since the storefront, I've always felt compassionate towards people. But I've also seen that over the last 10 years or so, I've softened up in areas whereby if a person lives a certain life, I realize that maybe that's not something that I would do, but I can still embrace the person without embracing the behavior, the actions, or what they tend to get involved in. And I think that's really important, because you can be right as a Christian. You can be right and wrong at the same time. You can be right on your stance, but you can be wrong in how you treat somebody that doesn't honor that stance.
And learning how to do that is very important, because we are the light in the midst of darkness. But if you are always that type of person where you have a comment or something to say, that can really cause, it can cause harm for our younger generations too, because they'll take on that like behavior. Yeah.
The Bible says in Proverbs, it says, when words are many, sin is not far off. Which means that when I'm running my mouth all the time, it's not going to be long before my mouth creates a problem in my life. So he said, again, here's the scripture. Good. When words are many, sin is not far off.
People that talk too much.
Yeah.
I said, people would say, well, do you talk to so-and-so, or are you friends with so-and-so? And I'm like, nah, her mouth leaks. And they'd be like, I'm like, she talks too much. She talks so much that she can't even control what comes out of her mouth.
Right.
And that's difficult for me to allow those kind of individuals in my life or close to me, because of the fact that you are not taking enough time to even listen. Yeah. Why would you want to be right? You're not listening. You just are waiting to see what you can say next.
And every now and then I violated my own standard of what you should say and what you shouldn't say when I was giving counsel to a couple that's in real trouble. Years ago, I could go back 15 years. I can go back almost 18 and 19 years. In some situations, on a couple of rare occasions, when the going back and forth was happening right there, I looked them in the face and I said, I need both of you to shut up, because that's your problem. Everybody's talking and nobody's listening. Now, I don't mean no disrespect by that, but I needed to say something to jar you back and get you to listen, for God's sake.
Remember, Johnny thought that was a cuss word.
Yeah, he used to think that shut up was a cuss word.
Because we never use that word. We would say hush or be quiet. And if he heard somebody say that, he's like, oh, Mom, that was a bad word.
So he got to high school and heard all kind of stuff.
Till he heard all that. But it is really important. I mean, we talk about mouth management all the time, and we talk about our
especially in marriage too.
Yes.
If you can't check your mouth, you're going to have a rough marriage, because sometimes everything you think don't need to be said, but sometimes the things you think need to be said, but they just need to be said the right way. I'm always the type, if you come at me wrong, my defenses are going straight up. I think we have to learn how to be, and it's a learning process. I mean, we're 25 years in, 26 in a year 26 next month. But it's a learning process. And a lot of the things that I teach were not things that I just developed overnight. Some of those are things that I haven't developed yet, but they're things that I've grown into over the years, because when the word is being ministered to, I got to hear it as well. And so you just try to grow as much as you can, and you allow your spouse to play a role in addressing things.
Right. And that's something we've had to work on, and we continue to work on, is because when you said coming at you wrong, what I have found out is like, my strong would be your wrong. Your strong could be my wrong. So what it would be is like, you're coming at me strong and you feel it's okay. I'm coming at you strong and it's okay. But you're saying, I don't like people coming at me a certain way. And I'm saying, so you have to understand that in relationships, you have to make adjustments, and you have to figure those things out and become sensitive to those things, because you may say to yourself, well, he's just gonna have to get over it. No, if that bothers him, the way that you have your conversation, you have to sit down and talk. How can we do this better? And
I can't tell you how many times I sit in my office and heard spouses, that whether it's the man or the woman, that barks at the other one, saying, well, that's just my personality. You have to embrace. No, I don't have to embrace that. I don't have to embrace you talking to me like that. So it's a learning process. And, we're almost 26 years in, and I think we're still learning and growing, because you change the longer you're married, the more you change over time. So it should never be a time where you stop getting to know one another, or you start assuming what every one of their reactions is going to be, regardless of how many times that was their reaction in the past, because you got to give them enough respect for growth to take place.
Right. You're going to have disagreements. You're going to have things that trouble you. You're going to have things that you want to see improve. Doesn't mean you have a bad relationship or you have a bad marriage. Being passive aggressive, shouting out, cussing each other out, leaving the house and not coming back for the next day. Like, we've heard so many situations on how people deal with difficulties in their relationships. And I'm not just talking about if you're married, even in raising your adult children, even in your family situation, you may not speak to family members for years thinking that's dealing with it. That's not dealing with it. Yeah. Or you may talk about your family in a negative fashion to other people on a regular basis. And people will think, well, they don't have nothing good to say about their family.
Right.
You and I are good about, if you can't say nothing nice sometimes, we just not going to say nothing at all.
When it comes to family, we tend to keep our mouth shut pretty well. Unless it's an issue that, let's say she brings up an issue with her family.
Right.
And she's talking to me about it, then I'm going to listen to what she's saying. I'm going to give my input. If I'm talking about the fact that, this really bothered me today as it relates to my siblings or whatever, she's going to listen to it, and then she's going to speak into it. And it's really important that you do that, versus coming at your spouse like, you need to check your mom. You know what I mean? Those kinds of things are going to have the mama and the husband hating you.
Right.
So learning how to adjust, I think, is key.
And it is. And taking the time to listen to each other. What does he need? What does she need? How can we, like, if you're not growing each year, if you're not maturing in some form or fashion, like if we were the same Alicia and John today that we were 10 years ago, that would be a problem.
It'd be a problem, because the more you grow, the more you enjoy each other, and the more you enjoy your life and your children. Marriage was never meant to be something that you just hold on to God's unchanging hand till the kids turn 18 and then y'all divorce.
And people do that.
And the thing about it is, I've asked people before, not often, but a couple of times in private conversations, well, I just stayed because I wanted my family to be together. And my question that I asked is, did you ever think about the collateral damage you were doing by staying? Look at your kids. Look at them. Now, I've never told anybody to get divorced, ever. And never told anybody to get married. I don't do that. Those are decisions that they have to make. But I think at some point that people do have to look at that, because there are things that a child can see in a home. And when you see it, you can't unsee it. I've experienced that. You can't unsee that. Right. You have to learn how to work with those things.
Right. There's a calm. Our house is so quiet. Like if Pastor and I are having a discussion and our house always stays so calm, that even the kids, Judah will say, I heard you guys talking this morning. Like they can hear everything because of the fact that we don't have the TVs blasted. We don't have this, it is important for us to have a certain atmosphere in our house. So I couldn't imagine if we were yelling, cussing, and fussing on a regular basis, what our children would be like.
Our kids would be messed up. There's just no question about it. So, and we make sure that if we got to discuss something, if I'm frustrated about something, you're frustrated about something, we talk about it away from them. Now, sometimes we'll even wait till they go to sleep and then go in the room. So there's no chance of them hearing and then being able to talk. And those things are a part of growth. Some people, well, I'm tired of changing and I'm tired of it. Well, you know what? If you're tired of changing, then you're tired of living.
That's
because
true.
The Bible, based on the word of God, we should always be growing in God.
That's good.
So if you're tired of growing, that means you're tired of living.
Yeah. And for those that, are single, that want to be married again, you teach this all the time. This is the developing stage. This is the stage where healing takes place, where you learn more about yourself, where you continue to, grow as an individual. Because you always tell us that a half and a half man, half woman don't make a whole person.
It never makes a whole relationship. And again, but things have to be understood that it's going to take time.
It takes time.
Because a lot of couples, they get married nowadays, all the changes we've had to make with one another to make our marriage better, they expect to get through all that in 6 months, and all of a sudden they got a utopia relationship. and sometimes I have to help them see that, that's not really the way this thing works.
Or they don't look at the caution signs, the yield signs. And they go ahead and get married for the party, for the day, for the celebration. Yeah. And now we look at this marriage time and they're complaining. It's like, you saw this before you walked down the aisle. You saw this before you stood before the preacher, before the judge,
I've told Johnny this before, that basically marriage is a classroom. And if you don't study, you flunk. It's that simple. It's a classroom. Yeah. And in a classroom, what are you doing? You're always learning on what? Different subjects. How to approach this, how to approach that. So it's very, very important that we understand those things.
And I'm so glad that he's not in a rush. He knows he has so much that he's still trying to learn and evolve in life. That yes, he's has a young lady that he's seeing, but they both are still career driven. Educationally driven. They're focused on developing as individuals, which I truly appreciate about him and this young lady that he is seeing, that they are continuously developing, because that's what it takes. Yeah.
And I think that it's important that you help your children learn how to date when that dating time comes. Help them learn how to date. Tell them about your train wrecks, but also tell them about your success in that area, and how they go about making selections and how they go about handling different things, and try to create a window or an environment where they feel like they can come and talk to you if they're frustrated about something that they're dealing with the person that they're dating or whatever. Right. That's something he's always done.
What I can tell you is, like, even Judah picks up on things. She'll say, I like so-and-so better than the other one, because she has, like, not just, and it's not superficial things. She doesn't say things like, well, she's prettier. She says things like, I like the way she talks to Jeremiah, or I like the way she is around our family. And I love that she's picking up on those things. Even Sister Mary's on here, and her son is our godson. And when Big John was dating different people, Judah would be like, well, I like such and such, because she talks to us. She calls us this, she calls us that, and she treats, Sister Mary like that. So I'm so happy that she does not just look at superficial things in relationships.
Yeah. Not at all.
That she's
learning that early.
Yes, she's learning that early. Teach your kids that.
And when her and I go do something, I tell her, I said, Judah, this is going to sound foreign to you right now, but any young man that doesn't treat you like I do, that ain't for you. Right. Later on down the line, just remember that. I see the sister, Minister Posey, said marriage interview, it's like an interview process. And sometimes that gets ignored. I think there can be an interview process, but I don't think it has to be rigid, because if it's rigid, people aren't going to be comfortable with one another. But what she's saying is powerful, because what she's saying is questions have to be asked, and answers have to be given in order to even see if there's a potential for something. And that's what I think she was hitting at.
It happens all the time. I'll ask the young ladies, so why is he divorced? What happened in his first marriage? What's their relationship like? How often does he see his children? Like, oh, there you go, First Lady. And I'm going to. If you're a part of my life and you want me to mentor you or be your spiritual covering, I'm going to ask these questions. And if you can't answer these questions, that's a problem. That's a problem.
That's a problem, because there are a lot of people that are in love with the ideal of being in love.
Absolutely.
And so when things happen and they begin to date someone, they let every horse out of the gate right out the bat. And what happens is, if you get that emotional right out the gate, you start making permanent decisions based off of wrong data. When your emotions are leading you to your decision making, they're usually going to be wrong decisions. And you have to take time, find out how they handle stuff, how they handle their job, how they handle their children if they have one, how they handle their ex if they have one, how they handle their own relatives. Are they able to check them if necessary? Do they have a close relationship? Do they have a dysfunctional relationship? All these are things that you want to see, but don't look at them in a judgmental fashion. Look at it from an observation fashion. Not coming back to them and say, your mama all jacked. Not any of that. You've got to look at it from an observation, and in the back of your mind, you're remembering this data, and hopefully he's doing the same with you, so that each party can make a decision as to whether it goes forth or whether it doesn't.
And I'm telling you, do not hide. If you're dating someone and you have people in your life that hold them accountable out of love, don't hide that individual, because you want to see how they act in those situations. So if someone says, well, I don't want to go out to your mama's house no more because she always asks when we going to get counseling, when we going to get married. No, you keep going over there, because your mom's just said holding them accountable. She does it out of love. I know one of the young ladies, she said the guy she's with was like, I already know. So First Lady going to ask us X, Y, Z. And she's like, yeah. And every time I see you, I'm going to I'll ask him, hey, have you set up your premarital counseling? Hey, have you set up X, Y, and Z? Because if we are the people that you trust to be your spiritual coverings, we are going to say there was no reason for you to have that train wreck, as Rondre said. There was no reason for you to go through that yellow light, because there were people in your life that were speaking the truth in love, but you chose to ignore those signals.
And I think he said, tell them about the train wreck or something like that.
Train wrecks, but he's talking about when people get in these relationships.
And that's what
tell all of it.
And I say it all the time. I like to refer to it, there's a train wreck component of it, but I like to refer to it as a car accident. That when you're getting close to an intersection and the light turns yellow before you can even get up underneath it, then that light is going to turn red. If you ignore it and you drive through it, you end up getting wrecked. And now all this process has to go in order for you to get the dents out of your life and the dents out of your emotions and the dents out of your relationship, so that you can get enough of the car repaired to be able to get to work.
Joseph did your quote, the famous one, people think marriage is a good idea that turns into an ordeal. Now they want a new deal.
Absolutely.
As he says that all the time.
Absolutely. And marriage is not for cowards either.
Not at all.
Because you got to talk subjects that the other party may not like. You know, I think both of us before have avoided stuff from time to time. But at some point, you got to go ahead and hit it. And you got to address something. And if you come with the right spirit and the right intentions, you can get right results.
Absolutely. Because you love each other. And as you say all the time, it's a decision. It's not a feeling. They just narrow it down to this feeling. And then when you don't feel like, you know, being bothered, you don't make the right decisions, because you have really taken love and put it down to just this physical, like you tell us, the phileo love. It's so much more than that.
It really is. It really is. I mean, one of the signs that you're dating the right person, that's if you are dating, one of the signs that you're dating the right person is that if their presence in your life makes your relationship with God stronger.
That's good.
Or does their relationship in your life, their presence in your life, make your relationship weaker? And I think the last thing I would say on that, and we kind of turned into this subject today, but that's what Flow With It is all about. The last thing I would say is, if you're single, I've watched this for 35 years. Stop setting standards for other people that you don't measure up to.
Right.
It's just a fair thing to do.
And don't you think every season is different? You may have had a standard in your 20s that doesn't apply in your 40s.
Exactly.
You know, now you're divorced with 2 kids, or you know, now you lost your job, you lost your house, like you're starting all over again. Yeah. So you had all these financial standards, but now you're not that person you were 10 years ago. Hey, Jeremiah, come here.
You want to come say hi?
We have something special that's happening tomorrow, so we want you to be able to say something before you go back upstairs.
Jay is gonna be.
He's in a zone with his iPad, so I wanted to catch him before he went. Tomorrow, somebody has a birthday.
That's right.
Somebody has a birthday.
Jay is gonna be 20.
He said, "Let me go.
Yeah, let me get back to my iPad." He's going to be 20 years old tomorrow. So we're going to have some fun. We're going to go out to dinner and just really surround him with friends that he really enjoys being around.
Yes, because next year we're going to do something big because he's going to be leaving, you know, we graduating. So he'll be participating in graduation ceremonies next year. And he's going to be 21. So we're going to have a big celebration next year. So we just want to say, come on, Jay. Say, you know, you see he's getting older because remember, when we first started Family Room, we could have never sat down here for an hour without him bogarting.
That was about 15 months ago.
Yeah, so he can hear us, but now he doesn't be bothered. As long as he has both his iPads charged and his drink and snack is on the table, he's good to go.
And this dog is all over the place.
That dog, that pastor's dog.
What's up, Bishop?
That's pastor's dog.
Y'all want to see him? Come on up, man.
Bishop has gotten new guidelines and regulations and rules because after he ran away twice, and then after he ate, don't let him up on the furniture. And then after he ate that ball and they want us to pay all that money to get it out, if this dog's going to be a part of the family, he has rules.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, if he, you know, we spent so much on the first surgery and all of that. I told her, I said, he swallowed something else and they say he's not going to make it without surgery. I'm going to start singing in Sweet By and By.
Peace out, Bishop.
It's time to roll out.
God loves you and we love you.
But we love him. That's our dog. Well, listen, we want to thank you guys for being a part of Family Room. We hope that we're touching base on things that are helpful to you, but also understand that Family Room is a discussion. So even when we come back next week, just know sometimes if you have questions, jot them down during the week and you can fire those out there on the Family Room and have an opportunity that we can share and give you feedback and answers to some of those questions and challenges.
Yes, definitely. We're so glad you joined us today for the Family Room. And then when we started out, we shared with you that New Life's church anniversary is August the 8th. 9 o'clock, it will be the Family Room. 11 o'clock, we will have one huge service with special guest, Dr. Jonathan Briggs. And then at 6 p.m., we are going to have a concert taking us back down memory lane with local artists and our New Life Worship Center family and band. So I'm looking forward to that day. We will have in-person and virtual. Mark your calendar, August the 8th.
Yes. So we're looking forward to that. In the meantime, as we close out, before we pray, I want to ask you to support the Family Room, support JRM and what we do and what we try to do. You can use the Cash App there. You can use the text to give. You can use those 2 different instruments in order to be able to support. If you get blessed by what we try to provide for you, sow a blessing back into that as we continue to expand things, we're working to get a list of guests that come on and it's almost more like in talk show style and have an opportunity to minister to these people or minister and hear from them gives you different perspectives on some of the same subjects. So there's a lot of things we want to do there. Support the Family Room. We appreciate it. The Cash App information is there. Text to give is there. Let's get ready to pray. We'll see you guys on Sunday.
Before we pray, we always want you to remember that at the end of the Family Room, if you have a prayer request, please put the name of the individual in the thread, or if it's you, ask for prayer. We were talking about marriage today. If you need prayer for your marriage, write down, Pastor, please pray for my marriage. Please pray for my spouse. If you're dating someone and you're not sure if it's marriage material, hey, put your dating relationship in the thread. But we always want to make sure we cover our faithful listeners and those you may be watching us 2 days later, or you may be watching us in the evening time, but we never take for granted that you take your time to support this ministry, and we want to be able to cover you. So right now in the thread, before Pastor Ramsey closes out in prayer, put your information in there, put the individual in there, put if you need prayer, just put your hand emoji up and we will pray for you.
And we'll call your name out before the Lord and believe God for you.
Yes.
All right, let's pray today, guys. Father, in Jesus' name, we thank you for giving us this opportunity and this platform to come back live today. We thank you for all the people that look forward to the family room and they lock in and they engage and they interact. And I pray, God, that you will bless each and every one of them for taking time out of their day to make you a priority in their life. I thank you for what you're going to do in their life. Bless those that support this ministry and what we're trying to do as well. And we'll be certain to give you all praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
So thank you to everyone. I see people are putting it in. So we'll make sure that anytime throughout that you need prayer, please make sure you put it in the thread, because people are really connecting and put it in there. And there's sometimes a delay. We do get it. It is covered in the prayer.
Yes.
Pray that all of the children will have an amazing school year. Pray that God will cover them and keep them from any hurt, harm, or danger.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking forward to an amazing 2021 as we finish out this quarter.
Absolutely. Well, listen, thank y'all so much for being a part. We'll catch you on Sunday. Be blessed.